I want to bring in Democratic Senator of Oregon, Jeff Merkley. Senator, thank you so much for being with us this morning. It's good to have you back on the show. You and other lawmakers in Oregon have announced what you've described as this federal public health emergency because of what we just talked about, that terrible air quality because of these fires. Portland is currently ranked #1 as far as the worst air quality in the world. What does this declaration do to help you fight that? And are you getting the federal help that you need?
Yeah, absolutely. We did get a quick response from the federal government in approving that. It brings in a administrator who will help with the health programs in the region. It opens up health resources to assist with the major disaster resources. So it's just another piece of the puzzle. And quite frankly, I mean, like I had a Zoom call yesterday where the first three people who talked were all three suffering with various ailments from the smoke inhalation. It is something we've kind of not recognized in past fires, but the smoke is becoming more and more of an issue.
And it is something that we are seeing visibly, even as far away as the East Coast as well. I want to ask you about something else, if you can sort of put your Senate cap on here. Dan Coats, who's the former, of course, director of national intelligence, is out this morning with an op-ed in the New York Times saying that Congress should basically form a bipartisan committee focused on election security, basically to monitor voting, ensure that laws and regulations are followed. It comes as the president himself is tweeting that perhaps we may never know the accurate results of the 2020 election, a claim for which there is no evidence. Do you believe that Congress should, as DNI Coates says, form that committee? What could they do here?
You know, I keep thinking about how a major Russian strategy has been to undermine the credibility of Western democracies, and particularly the United States, by casting doubt on the integrity of our elections. And now we have the President of the United States doing the same thing, threatening voter intimidation, encouraging voter suppression, calling for armed individuals to be at the polling booths, saying he won't necessarily accept the results of the election. I think the basic idea Dan Coats put together is sound. He's saying we cannot accept these attacks on the integrity of our election. We need to have a high-level commission of people who are respected in a whole series of fields coming together, essentially monitoring our own elections the way we would normally monitor a foreign government's election to try to make sure their elections had integrity. I mean, it's a reaction to the challenges that President Trump is creating by undermining our own system.
I want to ask you about something else that's in the news here. And you have been outspoken about trying to get answers from ICE in the past. So let me ask you this. Lawyers have been alleging abuse of migrant women by a gynecologist in a Georgia ICE detention center. The story is that women in that facility told a nurse and their attorneys about the abuse. The nurse filed a whistleblower complaint claiming a gynecologist performed unnecessary procedures, including hysterectomies. We should note here the nurse did not witness any of those procedures. ICE is disputing the allegations. In a statement, ICE says there have only been 2 hysterectomies that have happened at that facility since 2018. And LaSalle, the company that runs the center, did not comment publicly because of a pending review, but stressed they're firmly committed to the health and welfare of those in their care. The doctor in question has vehemently denied these claims. Senator, is this a story that you've been following? And do you have any information or guidance for us on how you may move forward in it?
Well, I was really struck by that there was a whole series of issues apart from the gynecological issues that were raised. For example, with coronavirus, that medical records were fabricated, that requests for medical treatment were shredded, that individuals who were requesting tests for coronavirus didn't get them, that those who had tested positive were being kind of commingled with people without protection. And then, of course, this really stunning situation where hysterectomies were apparently performed, according to the whistleblower, without the approval of the women, without the understanding of the women. The College of Gynecology says that in a situation with incarceration, there should be extensive documentation of a request because of the potential for abuse. I do feel that we have seen so many abuses of immigrants, of children, of adults, that this is one more case that needs to be fully looked at. We need a different system and a different attitude where we don't view abusing immigrants like this administration does as a strategy to deter immigration. It breeds a philosophy and a culture of abuse.
Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Why don't you subscribe? It's really easy. Just click on that button down there. And for more news from MSNBC, click on any of these videos here for the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more videos from MSNBC with our newsletters. Head over to msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up.